Hello friends, Dan Alasso here with Making History, and just wanted to update you on what's happening at the beginning of my summer here. So last week I did a Zoom meeting with Nick Milo during his Linking Your Thinking conference to talk about and to demo my Obsidian book club. And this is a group that meets on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to about 11:30 or noon for me, but that's 8 a.m. for my friends in California. It's even earlier in Hawaii. It's afternoon in Great Britain and Western Europe, where some members join from. And it's evening in the Middle East, where we have one very regular participant. We regularly have members join from all of these locations, though. In the past, we've actually also had several people from East Asia and even Australia, in which case I've actually run two separate meetings each weekend to accommodate everybody. And honestly, that was a bit much for me, although I would welcome people coming from those places and I would accommodate them. But I suppose that's just the price that we all pay for living on a planet. The book club bounces back and forth pretty regularly between reading about note making and Zettelkasten and things like that, and also reading about history or politics or economics, usually with a goal of understanding the current world situation. Members come and go, oftentimes depending on whether they're interested in the current book or not so much. Right now, we're on our 9th iteration of the book club. We're reading Kate Rayworth's book, Donut Economics, which was nominated by a couple of members. I was sort of aware of it, but not that familiar with it. And it was voted up by the entire group. My demo for Nick was really a little bit scattered, I thought. I hadn't really taken that much time to prepare a presentation since it was the end of the semester at my university and I was a little bit swamped. But then again, the book club is pretty informal. And the shared Obsidian vault is kind of a work in progress. So I think that wasn't entirely inappropriate. The ability to create a shared space where we can carry on discussions that extend beyond the conversations that we have on Zoom is really kind of the main benefit for me. Putting a folder in Dropbox and giving members full access to it has really not produced the types of problems that you might expect from a bunch of people working together in the same space. Part of this may be that we don't necessarily all work in the vault simultaneously, although I have from time to time seen people moving around it and adding things while I've been in there. And especially that we're not always working on the same documents at the same time, since we're all typically adding and manipulating our own notes. Sometimes we comment on the notes of another user, but rarely in real time when the author of that note is still there and watching and updating their note. We do have a community notes page and a vault changelog, which do require a little bit more care. We timestamp and sign the notes that we add to the community page, and they're visible as kind of a chronological feed or a stream. The changelog actually oftentimes creates conflicted copies if I leave it on. So I typically turn it on when I visit the vault, and then while I'm adding or making notes or making announcements or whatever it is I'm doing in there, it captures all the changes that have been made since the last time I had logged in and turned it on. And then I turn it off again when I leave, which is sort of equivalent to turning off the lights. So not that difficult. Dropbox does a really good job, I would say, of archiving backups of the folder, and I've actually been able to restore a few corrupted files from the automatic backup, the one time we ever actually had a problem like that. Previously, I had been backing up fairly regularly on a daily basis by simply duplicating the entire folder from the Mac Finder, and that works very well too. My overall conclusion is that Obsidian works great as a shared collaborative space. I suppose there are some other tools out there that do as well. At work, we use Microsoft Office 365, and I know a lot of educators use Google Docs, especially in K-12. My feelings about those are generally that Microsoft is an expensive commercial platform, and even with all that expense, they haven't really, as far as I can tell, figured out whether we should be collaborating in Teams or in SharePoint, and the communication in those tools is a little bit problematic. Google is free, but it's free in the classic sense that if you're not paying, you are the product. I don't personally feel comfortable doing any of my work in the Google space, even if it's work that I'm ultimately planning to give away with a Creative Commons license on it. My Obsidian vault, even the shared Dropbox one, belongs to me and is available to my friends and to members of the club. But I don't really want to donate it to Google. I guess in general, I'm a bit more comfortable owning my data in the long run. So the Linking Your Thinking conference has posted a link to the video conversation that I had with Nick. And people can watch that and get in touch with me if you have any questions or comments. And now, since it's finally kind of summer vacation for me, I will be a little bit more active on Substack and YouTube and all the places that I post publicly. But that's all for now. So I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again.